We heard this morning, 11:30, all right, we heard this morning from Aaron Levy about the birth of a new generation of workers, the 1 billion knowledge workers. Well, this new species presents a whole new set of recruiting opportunities and challenges for HR specialists. Our next keynote speaker says it's time to reinvent how companies find the perfect talent. So if you're looking for a job, you're going to want to listen to this man. Please help me introduce the Senior Vice President for Central Europe at Monster Worldwide, Mr. Marco Bertoli.
Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and hello to all the people following the CeBIT over web streaming. My name is Marco Bertoli. I'm a Senior Vice President for Monster in Central Europe, and I'm very happy to be your guest during the next 30 minutes, speaking about the need of reinventing our recruitment strategy. I don't know what happens to you, but what happens to me when I'm here at the CeBIT, getting all the news about innovation and the state of the art, is to say, wow, this is going to change my life, or this piece of innovation is going to change my way to work. And maybe because of my job, every time I think something like that, I have to think about the smart brain and the big talent you need behind innovation, and how scarce those talent are those days. So if we put the two things together, on one hand, the scarcity on talent, and on the other hand, the relevance of innovation and the need of talent, it is clear why we need to reinvent our recruitment strategy. Let me take just a few seconds to show you what happens to Monster, to our company, since 1996, when we invented the online recruitment strategy. Back in those days, there were not many options to get to your talent. Basically, beside the innovation we were introducing, the job board, you had only traditional networking on one hand and the newspaper. In the meanwhile, the way we help our clients to recruit are still on the job board, which is getting much more than a job board, is more a distribution center of your content throughout the web. We help companies with referral programs, both internally and externally. We help companies building up and managing their career sites. And we engaged in social with Binone, offering the Facebook community place inside Facebook to build their career networking. And virtually all our applications are available over the mobile channel. I will speak later on about the semantic search technology we're bringing on the market, and about how we're putting these on the cloud. So not only the talent is scarce, the talent we need is scarce, but the behavior of internet users dramatically changed. What happens in the last 10, 15 years is that you don't have a central point to target your audience. The audience is getting extremely fragmented over different sites, in social, and reachable over different channels. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, how much do we really know about the habits of the population we want to target? Where are they to find? What are they looking for? How can I reach out to them? Do we know enough about it? Are we in touch with the right people to help us? And this is included in our strategy. Another thing's change, and this is really the globalization of the labor market. In the last years, much more companies turned to be multinational, and the size of company engaging in a multinational level on the labor market is going down. Smaller and smaller companies are engaging with international recruitment. What happens to me, because of my job, I'm traveling on a weekly basis over Europe, and what I can see now is, on one hand, companies and entire economies are slowed down by the lack of talent, and the same talent, just 60 minutes flight away, lining up at the unemployment line. I may be exaggerating a little bit, so they might not be lining up an employment line, but they're not getting the job corresponding and matching their aspiration, and they're not getting the career opportunity some other economies could be offering to them. So if somebody still doesn't believe that globalization is everywhere, I brought this example. So we don't know who this gentleman is. We don't know what company he's working for, but we know what he did. This sir, which is an ICT engineer writing programs for a US company, has a strange habit. He outsourced this job to China, retaining for himself 80% of the salary and paying his Chinese partner 20% of it. He was spending his time social networking online, and I'm obviously not advising anybody to do so, and I think he had some consequences he wasn't predicting at the end of the day. The point is, he was not spotted because the quality or the timing on which he was delivering his work. He was spotted because of strange VPN connection. But what is really the point I want to make about this example? First, I would like you to trust and believe that globalization is everywhere. It's not for the others, it's not for big multinational companies, it's literally everywhere, point one. And point two, this gives me, or could give us the opportunity to think about what kind of globalization are we looking at in the labor market. Till 10 years ago, before the crisis, it was very much about outplacing plants and pieces of the company in low-cost labor markets. I think we should consider now how to import talent into our Western market, a new way of globalization. And another way to look at it is probably what the shortage represents for my company and what it represents for my country. What are we heading to from a European perspective? According to the European Union, in less than 2 years, we will be lacking 700,000 ICT specialists in Europe. So again, we can compete with our competitors to the right talent on the domestic market. Sometimes we might win, sometimes we might lose. But as a continent, as Europe, we need to consider the global recruitment. Otherwise, there will be no fix to this. There are, and this is my last contribution to the globalization, and this is which sometimes the global recruitment and have the largest possible audience for your vacancies is a must. When you want to build a Formula One team, and I understand this is not one of our typical needs, but when Marussia started building his team, they had a problem. Formula One is extremely competitive. Even if you rank down the grid and you do start before, there is a huge work and you need huge ambition and skills just to get there and to fight your way to the top of the grid. When Marussia sat together and considered their strategy on recruiting, there was only possible solution, and this was global recruiting. There was no other option for them. It was a must. I have a short movie, and we are ready to see a short movie about this experience with Marussia.
Formula One is a relentless business. It doesn't wait for teams to grow up, so it was really important for us to build a very competitive team very quickly. The measure of the success of your business largely depends on the team that you put together.
Recruitment is something that's a never-ending cycle. We continuously have to look at alternative ways to really attract the right level of candidates.
Nobody waits for us. There's a Grand Prix in a couple of weeks' time, and if we're not ready, that race is going to happen. So we have to have the right team in place at the right time, because before we know it, there's another Grand Prix and we have to keep moving forward.
The key benefit of working with Monster is that they're enabling us to expand our reach. As a result of working with Monster, we've increased significantly the number of candidates.
I'm really confident that the calibre of people that we've had joining us, then we'll be very well positioned. 2013 is going to be a really exciting season.
So let me just go back very briefly about the numbers. We worked together with Marussia, 860 job view worldwide, application coming in for Marussia HR department out of 75 different countries, and 40 hired were coming from this worldwide recruitment plan. Leaving the global point, we need to consider in our strategy, let's speak about social. Well, Social, probably after the cloud, is social the most discussed and analyzed topic those days. And the social discussion is moving from a hype phase where we had people thinking social will replace everything, there will be nothing but social online very soon, and critical people 10 years ago saying this is a hype and will disappear. This discussion is getting very, very mature now. And here are some numbers you might already know, but if not, you really need to know when thinking and developing your own online recruitment strategy. Back in 2011, 65% of people were already using social, and nearly the half of US users were using it for career purposes. 93% of the people of the company last year were already investing into social recruitment, and more of the half of them was planning to do more, to invest more going ahead. So we can easily say that reinventing the recruitment strategy is already happening, right? And everybody is setting the financial resources to do so available, which is right, and it's a very important thing. But it doesn't replace and it doesn't answer the question, what should I do to make it successful and to make it well? I want to share with you 3 points about what we should pay attention to when it is about investing wisely, what we want to do in social recruitment. This is the strategy, the social broadcasting, and the corporate guidelines. First of all, about the strategy. So I think I disadvise you to delegate the strategic task to HR alone or to marketing alone, and I really advise to bring all the departments together. Every department will be a different point of view about the strategy, and everybody will take a huge advantage knowing it in advance about what's coming on for the company. So make it really a company discussion and set the strategy cross-functional in your company. The social broadcasting, think about what is the audience you want to target. Don't think that you will have many options in social to address a very specific target, but be ready and think that your communication will go out there at the same time to potential candidates, but also to competitors, to shareholders, to consumers, because the communication in social, once is out, especially when we are speaking about broadcasting. And be ready to translate this one-to-many broadcasting communication into a one-to-one communication, setting the right resources with the right skills available for this. About corporate guidance, why is this important? Again, the social footprint of our company, when it is about corporate branding, when it is about recruitment, might not be delegated to a few people. You can try to do it. You can hire an expert, social recruiting. He picks up the question on Facebook, animates your community, builds up. You will get a result A. But what do you really want? You want to be out there everywhere. And to do so, you have to clearly communicate to your employees what are the expectations of the company. Why are we engaging in social? What are the goals we are pursuing? How are you allowed to act? How does the company want you to behave? What are the topics you want to touch, right? This must be clear. And eventually, what are the topics we don't want you to go in when you're representing my brand in social? And I think there is just a few companies today which has this clear guidance. I challenge you to go out and ask somebody, okay, what is your company expecting from you when it is about social? What are the guidelines? No, I better don't engage in it because I really don't know. Maybe I shouldn't use the brand of my company to do so and so on. And this is what's happening today. But the potential is huge. And instead of 2 people looking after your social print, you could escalate this to hundreds, thousands to your entire staff. So think about the social strategy and how to get to them and how to make it effective. Mobile is a revolution, changed our way of life. I think everybody in this audience has got a smartphone in the pocket, and I'm sure I'm not wrong. Same for the people following us over the streaming. let us look a couple of numbers together. So first of all, what is the size of the web traffic coming over mobile? 13%. Well, you could say 1 every 10. Yeah, I better reach out to all of them in the right way, but at the end of the day, it's 13%. So let us be more specific and look into the specific actions you can do over mobile. If you look at email reading, for instance, you have a completely different picture, and you have already nearly the half of email which are open over mobile. The mobile devices out there within the next 2 years will be more than the desktop device, and this is a reality, is a trend you cannot break. Being even more specific for the recruitment, we asked the job seekers if they are using mobile for job purposes. And 1/4 of them is already searching for career opportunity over mobile. Even more important, 59% of them is ready to do so. What does it mean? It means that by the next opportunity, the next time they will think about career, they will be there mobile and look for opportunity and browse opportunity and try to interact with you over mobile. So much more than the half. On the other hand, only 13% of the company has a full compliant mobile site ready for career purposes. So this is a very huge opportunity. I don't know if your company are in the 13% or if they are in the other 87%, but this should not happen by accident. This should be really a result of your strategy. Do you want to be out there? Do you want to follow the habits of your potential audience? Then be ready, and be ready to be mobile. From a content perspective, obviously, I don't want to spend too much time of it, but when you communicate over a mobile channel, you want to be direct, you don't want to send too many kilobytes over, you can compromise on the usage of video and so on, and you have to be really aligned with the requirement of mobile communication accordingly to the market you're operating in. Next question is obviously, what is with the old job board? Does it still make sense? Does it not? I think I really would like, again, to start with a few numbers I would like you to retain and to think about. We asked 6,000 users, this study was made in Germany, about what are their habits and what are the instruments and the channel they are using when it is about career. Still more than 60% just answered, I go to job board. This is very easy for me. I go there, I have an offer, I have ads, I have a video on ads, I can collect information about company. So this is something which is still very strong out there. 37% answered, I go to corporate homepage. This is the way I look for job. And 28% said us they are referring to career networks. So if we want to add some other data on this, and we also asked the top 1,000 German company about where are the application coming from when you get application. And the answer is not displayed on the slide, but the answer was 26% was coming from, 37% from the job board, 30% from the career job site, and only 11% from print. So, in other words, the job boards developed is not a closed system anymore. It is a base to dispatch and distribute your content all over the web. It's still the easiest step to start a recruiting process, but pay attention, this will not always be enough. We are no longer end 90s, beginning of 2000. So use the job board, be there, broadcast yourself in the job board, but be ready to escalate and to enlarge your recruitment strategy beyond when your target group is not achievable over a job board. The next point is about, we touched upon a couple of points, how to reach out to the audience. Now imagine we are there, we are in front of our audience. What is the message we are conveying to them? Do we know what our target groups cares about? What are their priorities? What are they no longer interested in? We spoke years ago about Generation X, we're speaking about Generation Y, there will be the native digital coming on. So do we have this information, and are we adjusting our content, our communication style to what the audience is expecting from us. Just a few points to think about what is getting more relevant for people. It is the flexibility of the working hour is getting, especially in the ICT, is getting more and more relevant. The balance between work, families, hobbies on the other hand, to work on meaningful and sustainable product and services is getting more and more important. What is losing a little bit important are the status symbol. You will seldom engage speaking about what is the car I'm getting. This is not really the topic. Who is my boss? Also, the boss those days might change from project to project, so don't stress too much this point communicating to the candidate. And to a certain extent, it is a little bit less about money than it was 10 years ago. So how to manage this kind of communication? There are many ways. This is true, and you can use it everywhere, but there are two special moments where you can really express and touch and wake up the interest of the audience you have in front. On one hand, you have the industry events. On the other hand, you have the usage of video. And let us take a couple of minutes speaking about this. So from industry event perspective, this is an event like today. An excellent opportunity to get in touch with specialists out of your industry, and it is a huge opportunity to start new hiring process. The point is, how can you get ready to leverage on this opportunity? And this is all about how are you preparing yourself and your staff getting into such an event. Is everybody aware about this kind of opportunity we are getting here at the CeBIT? Is everybody aware about the company vision, the mission? Is everybody ready to broadcast the company, to start networking? And after the meeting, is everybody booking, in our staff, is everybody booking some time to follow up? Which is very, very important. Follow up after the event to maximize the leverage on it. In green, you see how important it is the first impression you make. And we have nothing less than 6 employment processes going wrong because the impression made in person by the first personal touch was not okay. This is something we want and we can avoid. From a video perspective, again, think about, I don't know how many, we don't have data about how many companies are using video, but looking at our client records, this is still a minority, while video is offering you a huge opportunity to communicate to the target audience. The video is 6 times easier to remember than a text advertising. And in a social environment, video content is distributed much more often than text content. So this is an opportunity for you to communicate, to broadcast your employer value proposition. Yes, it is a communication one-to-many. This is not really one-to-one, but you should be ready. You can use your employee, which gives you back the personal touch when it is about producing a video, speaking about what is the working environment, what are the nice projects we are working on. So use video. And the last point, this gives you a better score when it is about getting found over search engines, over Google. The richer the content is, the better you will score, the easier your content will be to find online. What I do is an example I brought. If you have some 20 minutes, it would be a very good investment. This is a site where companies are presenting themselves many times, like I was telling, of giving the chance to employee to speak about the company and winning back this one-to-one touch or feeling in a one-to-many communication, which is the video communication. It's really worth a few minutes of our time. And again, imagine we have been successful. Everything was right. We used the right channel. We engaged on social. We got the attention for everybody. We scored high in the Google and was found by all the potential candidates we had. What's next? So big data is a concept coming from the scientific community. It was native there and migrated very quickly into the HR community. The HR community, the HR discussion is most of the time years late versus the scientific community, and sometimes doesn't follow at all discussion happening in the scientific community. Now, why did this happen about the big data discussion? Excuse me. It didn't really happen because of the size of the data. We are not speaking about terabyte of information which you can't host. It happened because of the nature of the HR information, because of the nature and the richness and the complexity of information contained into a profile or into a resume. As a matter of fact, a few hundreds, a few thousand, or 100,000 CVs, resumes, are already a very complex data to search to, and it's getting harder and harder to get the right information back out of this situation. What Monster did, we bought a company called Trovix 4 to 5 years ago in the meanwhile, and we developed a semantic search engine, a semantic search technology which is called 6sense. What 6sense does is easy. The machine thinks like you think. We understand the synonymous. We understand the hierarchy between concepts. I brought an example. So the machine knows that SharePoint and .NET 4.0 is in the same family. So until yesterday, what was happening to you searching your database or searching a vendor database for .NET 4? And the candidate was describing his experience not like .NET 4, but like SharePoint. There was no match. This candidate was lost. And you would have started engaging new hiring process, activating new costs, and so on. This is the past. This will not happen anymore. And on top of it, the results you get from a semantic search engine are scored and stack ranked so that you can start investing your valuable human time with the most likely candidate to fit your position, and then go down the rank and get at the end to the less interesting one. We also took this technology for you and we put it in the cloud. The technology, the 6sense in the cloud, is called Seymour. This allows you to browse all your data. We saw about how reinventing an online strategy could require to open up to different channels, to search, communicate, and engage with audience in many different places. Now, Seymour and the cloud version of 6sense makes you free to collect whatever kind of information you want from whatever channel. You can have a traditional application, you can have people entering your applicant tracking system, you can have email, PDF file, you can have mobile application. We don't care. We search all over semantic engine at the same time and give you the results straight back. Not only, but we deliver also all the statistics and all the information about how your strategy is running. You want to know, after you communicate and interact for 6 months, am I getting the attention of the right audience or not? We give you the analytics back to understand this and to fine-tune your strategy going ahead. So, thank you very much for your attention. Now, my wish for 2013 is to all of you to find faster the right and find better the right candidate in 2013. Hope you will be able to use some few contents we shared today, some few points. Remember to include social, do it and do it well in your strategy. Review the way, the messaging to the audience. Leverage on the cloud is one of your tools, is out there for you. And most of all, don't forget to think global. I'm looking ahead to listen to the panel. Thank you very, very much for your attention. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you very much. So all this week, we have heard about a